Hey, bro, who you just called? Hey, hang up your phone. You better get your Sargasso on, you heard me?
So welcome to the channel again. This is Muggsy the Dancer. Most people probably know my channel for dance tutorials, shooting dance videos, performing. If you follow me on Instagram, then you see a lot of that type of content. But if you've been following this channel for like, I don't want to say following, but if you knew about this channel for like a long time, like I ain't gonna say like the amount of time, but if you knew this channel from time, then you probably remember my viral video. It was about the Bermuda accent tag. Yeah, that thing went crazy. That thing went up there. So pretty much I helped on an accent tag, and there weren't any videos about Bermuda, so I was the first one, and I just legit, yeah, I did it and it just went crazy. So yeah, I'll put that video right there. You can check it out. Let me know if you like it. Drop a comment. I like if you haven't seen it already. But yeah, just to remind you guys who I am. Since then, I've been doing a lot, but one of the things I've got myself into is right here, Sargasso. So if you don't know what Sargasso is, first of all, the name is Sargasso Sea. All right, so if you don't know what that is, it is a platform that provides a service, so that way, if you're a service provider or a small business owner, even a large business owner, and you're trying to distribute your product, Sargasso is the platform that allows you to do that. So what it does is just connects the distributors to the consumers, all through an app, and then they also have a online website that you can utilize as well if you're not really app savvy. Basically, it started in about 2019, so just before the pandemic, the beginning of 2019, the app was pretty much launched, and yeah, that's where we started, and now we're here. So I can give you a pretty good idea of how things went. I could do that in another video of like how it started and how it's going now. But I just wanted to educate you guys on what Sargasso actually is. And it's very similar to Uber Eats, DoorDash, Postmates. If you can think of any other food delivery apps, then yeah, it's pretty much like that. But like I said, it's not just limited to food, it's any type of product. Any type of product. So pretty much I want to give you an insight into what it's like being a Sargasso agent. As you can see on my shirt, Sargasso delivery agent. And now I want to talk about the pros and cons of the different transportation modes. So first we're going to talk about driving Sargasso in a car, and then we'll talk about it on a bike. So yeah, let's talk about driving Sargasso on a car. So let me get into character. All right, so look, I'm in the car. All right, so let's talk about the 3 pros and cons about driving Sargasso in a car. All right, so first things first, I guess one positive thing would be you're able to carry a lot more orders. So not only can you bring one bag, but you could even get another bag and put it in the back seat, so that way you can increase the amount of orders that you're gonna do in one trip, make more money. The next positive thing I would say is that you're not as dependent upon the weather to work. So if it's raining or if it's like a thunderstorm going on, you can still get out here. As long as restaurants are still serving and everything's still open, you can still get out here and make this money. The third thing I would say is safety, obviously. You got protection all around you, so you're not gonna be as concerned about, getting into like a little accident or whatnot. And I mean, especially in Bermuda, you should be pretty fine. Like if somebody hits you, you got your seatbelt on, you got all these airbags and everything to protect you, as opposed to like being on a bike or something like that, whereas you're more likely to get injured. All right, so now let's talk about the 3 negatives. So you can't move as fast. That's one. You can't move as fast in a car, and if there's traffic, you're stuck. It is what it is. You have to call the people and be like, yo, so your food's gonna be a bit tardy. That's nothing I could do about it. The second thing I would say is parking. Parking, yeah, parking. Oh my dear. So around lunchtime, it gets extremely busy, especially in town, in the city. It gets extremely busy. So trying to find parking spots is almost like non-existent. And the last thing I would say that is a negative about being in the car is probably the fact that the gas is gonna be a lot. Like, you're gonna spend a lot of money on gas. So to recap, the positives were, from the top, I would say the fact that you can carry more than one bag. The second thing is you're not weather dependent. And then the third thing was safety. And then for the negatives, parking is a big negative. Being stuck in traffic is another negative. And then gas. So yeah, those are like the pros and cons. I'm pretty sure if you're a Sargasso agent, you could drop some more pros and cons in the comments and let the people know, what's going on out there for you. So now that you know what it was like being in the car, being comfortable in the car, let's talk about what it's like being on the bike. So we're gonna give you the pros and cons about being on the bike. Bang! So I'm on the bike. Hello. All right, cool, that's better. All right, so I'm on the bike out here. So pretty much, let's talk about the three positive things about being on a bike. So number one, traffic is not really a factor. Obviously, you see I'm on two wheels. So if traffic gets backed up, I just take the middle lane and go about my business. I'm not promoting bad driving. So if you are a speeder, make sure you slow down out there, because life is more important than just getting a couple dollars. That's just a little disclaimer. But we've all taken that middle lane. As long as you're doing it responsibly, you'll be fine. The second thing, right? The second thing I would say is parking. You don't really have to worry about parking as much when you're on a bike, because there is like a whole bunch of parking bays for bikes, and I guess it's significantly more cars that would be taking up parking spots. So if you're in a car, that's gonna be a struggle, but on a bike, there's a lot, like I said. So you're not gonna be spending a whole lot of money on gas when you're on a bike. It just depends on how much you work. Like if you work pretty much, I guess 10, 12 hours a day, then yeah, obviously you're gonna be spending a lot. But I would say it will range between like 30 to maybe $45, depending on the bike that you have. So that's per week, $30 to $45 per week on gas. It's not too bad. And then we got discounts as well. Like I think we got 20% off if we're a Sargasso driver. So as long as you have that and then you have your ID, then you get that discount. And you can imagine in a car, you're probably gonna be spending that same amount, but probably like in 1 or 2 days. So yeah. All right, so let's move on to the negatives. So the first negative thing I would say is the weather. So when it's bad weather, yeah, you're kind of like, you're subjected to however the weather's feeling. So if it's nice like today, then you're Gucci. But if it's raining and it's like just windy, everything, like then you gotta worry about that, and you still have to go out and work in it. So you gotta make sure that you have a good rain suit. The second thing I would say is that you can't really carry as many orders on a bike as like you can in a car. Like I said, in a car you can have like 2 bags in the back seat, so that you can pretty much increase the amount of orders you want to do in like one trip. But obviously you only have one back, and your back can only carry like 1 bag. So yeah, you're kind of limited on the amounts of orders you can do in a trip on a bike. And then the third and final negative about being on a bike is it's kind of obvious, right? It's safety. So on a bike, you only have 2 wheels, and you're pretty much at the mercy of other drivers sometimes. So like if you do get into an accident, is a good chance that you actually may be a lot more hurt than if you were in a car. So those are like the pros and cons about doing Sargasso on a bike. Oh, and I have one more thing. Let me just show you how much miles I've put on this bike. Like, it's crazy. So you really have to stay on top of maintenance, because look how many miles I put on this bike. Almost 100,000 miles. That's crazy, you know. And this thing is faithful, so you want to make sure that you have a reliable transportation, because yeah, this job put a lot of wear and tear on your vehicle. But yeah, so there's the pros and cons about being on a bike. Wait, so I'm back. So yeah, now that I've talked about the pros and cons being on a bike and being in a car, now I'm pretty much just gonna sum it all up. As you can see, it just depends on pretty much, well, number one, what you can and can't afford. If you can afford a car, then go for it. But then at the same time, you have to deal with the inconveniences of the parking, like we talked about. If you're on a bike, you gotta deal with the inconvenience of the weather. So it's just like, you know, if you can find that balance, maybe if you have options to get both of them, then that's probably your best bet. But not to say that you still can't make a good weekly income on either mode of transportation. So yeah, it just depends on how you do it. Something's in my eye, boy. Oh my there. All right, cool. So yeah, it just depends on how you do it. Pretty much, in my next video, I want to talk about how much money you could actually make being a Sargasso agent. So yeah, if you want to check out that deal, then subscribe to the channel so you'll be alerted to when I drop that next video. And yeah, hey, like, you can make some bread. I ain't even getting cat, like, real talk. You can make some good money doing Sargasso. And even if it's just a little side hustle, you know, something that you do in addition to what your daily job is or your career is, yo, you know, it's a little quick little come up and it's legal. You get me? So you ain't gotta be worrying about looking over your shoulder. Yeah, man. So that's gonna be in my next video. Hope you enjoyed the video. It's music Muggsy the dancer. Catch the vibe or get left behind. Check you out later. Bang.
Welcome to you. I want a fish sandwich and mayonnaise delivered by Sargasso. That's him, boy. Cool.